Has someone you love started showing subtle but concerning changes over the past few months? Many people assume that death in old age happens suddenly, but the reality is that the body often sends quiet warnings months, sometimes even a year, before life reaches its final stage. The problem is that most people miss these signs because they seem small at first. It's only later, looking back, that families realize the clues were there all along. But by then, it's often too late to prepare, too late to make those last memories count. In this video, we'll talk about 5 key signs that often appear up to a year before an elderly person passes away. Some of them might be things you've noticed but brushed off as just a part of aging. Others might seem minor but are actually signals of the body's gradual decline. Recognizing these signs early gives you the opportunity to provide better care, cherish meaningful moments, and most importantly, ensure that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. Stay with us until the end because these 5 signs can help you prepare both emotionally and practically for what's ahead. When you understand what's happening, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be able to make the most of the time you have left with those you love. Now, let's get started. 1. Significant weight loss. One of the earliest and most telling signs that a person may be approaching their final year is unintentional weight loss. At first, it might seem subtle, a belt that needs tightening, clothes that feel looser, or a fading appetite. Many families dismiss it as simply part of getting older, but the truth is that losing weight without trying is rarely a good sign. It often indicates that the body is no longer absorbing nutrients as efficiently. Muscle mass is decreasing and essential systems are slowing down. Aging naturally leads to some loss of muscle, but when it happens too quickly, it's a sign that something deeper is going on. The body may be struggling to digest food properly, or the person may no longer be able to process protein effectively, leading to muscle wasting. This loss of strength doesn't just make movement more difficult. It increases the risk of falls, weakens the immune system, and leaves the person more vulnerable to infections. In the final year of life, appetite changes are common. Many elderly individuals simply don't feel hungry the way they used to. Their sense of taste fades, food no longer seems enjoyable, and they may start skipping meals or eating much smaller portions. This isn't just a matter of preference, it's a physiological change as the body senses that it's beginning to shut down. The brain stops signaling the need for food as often, resulting in less energy, less strength, and a gradual decline in overall health. Weight loss is also common in chronic conditions like cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease. These diseases can progress long before more obvious symptoms appear. Even depression or cognitive decline can reduce appetite, causing a downward spiral where the body isn't getting enough fuel to sustain itself. Some families try to solve the issue by encouraging their loved ones to eat more, offering favorite foods or supplementing meals with protein drinks. But if the weight continues to drop despite these efforts, it's important to recognize that the issue is not just diet. It's the body preparing for a deeper transition. At this stage, forcing large meals may not help. Instead, focusing on comfort foods that are easy to eat and staying hydrated can make a bigger difference in maintaining quality of life. 2. Extreme fatigue and weakness. One of the most noticeable changes in the year leading up to the end of life is a deep, persistent fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. This isn't just feeling a little tired after a long day, it's profound exhaustion that makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Getting out of bed becomes a challenge. Walking across the room requires effort, and activities that once felt routine, like cooking, dressing, or even holding a conversation, start to feel too draining. This isn't just a result of aging, it's a sign that the body is conserving its remaining energy. As organ function begins to slow, the body starts prioritizing what's most essential. The heart doesn't pump as efficiently, circulation weakens, and muscles don't get the same level of oxygen they once did. This is why many elderly individuals feel weak, unsteady, and unable to sustain the same level of activity they once enjoyed. Another key factor is metabolic slowdown. As the body prepares for its final phase, energy is redirected. Instead of fueling movement, the body shifts toward preservation. That's why someone in decline may start sleeping more, needing longer naps during the day, and finding it harder to stay awake for long periods. Some may experience sudden drops in energy, feeling fine one moment but completely drained the next. The emotional impact of fatigue is often heartbreaking. Many seniors who once took pride in their independence may feel frustrated or embarrassed that they can't do what they used to. They might withdraw from conversations, avoid social interactions, or stop engaging in hobbies. Not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the energy. For families, watching a loved one transition from being active and engaged to exhausted and withdrawn can be painful. It's easy to assume they're just being lazy or that they need to push through it, but forcing activity won't help. What matters most is understanding their limits, allowing them to rest when needed, and making their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If you notice a loved one experiencing deep, ongoing fatigue that isn't relieved by rest, take it as a sign that their body is going through a major transition. This is the time to cherish conversations, create moments of peace, and support them without expectations. In the end, what matters most isn't how much they can do, but that they feel loved, understood, and at ease. 3. Cognitive confusion or withdrawal. As a person approaches the final stage of life, one of the most striking changes can be in how they think, communicate, and interact with others. You might notice that someone who was once sharp and engaged starts to forget things more often, struggle to follow conversations, or seem disoriented in familiar places. They may repeat themselves, forget names, or lose track of time, even when they never had memory issues before. These subtle cognitive changes can happen months or even a full year before death. This isn't just everyday forgetfulness. The brain, like any other organ, requires a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. But as circulation weakens and the oxygen supply to the brain decreases, cognitive function starts to decline. The person may become easily confused, have difficulty making decisions, or struggle to recognize people and places they've known for years. In some cases, they may have brief moments of lucidity, followed by sudden episodes of confusion, almost as if their mind is fading in and out. Another common sign is emotional withdrawal. A person nearing the end of life may lose interest in social interactions. You might notice them speaking less, engaging less, or spending long periods sitting in silence. It's not that they don't care about their loved ones, it's that their brain no longer processes emotions and engagement the same way. This isn't just a personality shift, it's often a result of the brain adjusting to the body's decline. As cognitive function slows, emotions become harder to express, and the person may stop reacting to situations as they used to. For family members, watching a loved one lose touch with reality or pull away emotionally can feel like losing them before they're actually gone. But it's important to remember that this isn't something they can control. Instead of trying to bring them back into conversations, the best thing you can do is meet them where they are. Speak gently, offer reassurance, and understand that even if they don't always respond, they can still feel your presence. 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. As the body begins to wind down, one of the clearest physical signs is a weakened immune system. You might notice that someone who rarely got sick before now seems to catch every cold, every flu, and every small infection that goes around. What used to be minor illnesses now take much longer to recover from, and simple wounds, like small cuts or bruises, heal at a noticeably slower rate. These changes aren't random. They're signs that the body is no longer able to defend and repair itself as it once did. Repeated infections, like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, or skin infections become more common as the immune system weakens. Many families assume these are just isolated incidents, but when they start happening frequently or take longer to clear up, it's often a sign that the body is losing its ability to fight back. 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the most telling signs that the body is preparing for its final stage is a noticeable change in breathing patterns and circulation. You may notice that your loved one breathes more slowly or shallowly than before. At times they might pause between breaths, or their breathing might become irregular, speeding up and then slowing down unexpectedly. Thank you for joining us today. Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create helpful and inspiring content.